Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, the Korean ESL Cup Finals, the last ESL Open of 2020. Hopefully a dramatic end to this dramatic year with some of the most dramatic players in this dramatic best of 5. Did we cover it? No, I should introduce them. We got to do this. In the bottom right of Submarine, that other Zerg who's really good but doesn't win quite enough, so he gets overshadowed by other Zergs that are barely any better. It's Kaiser Gaming Solar. And in the top left, finally, getting a win in the GSL Super Tournament, showing some ridiculously strong PvT against Beyond recently in ESL. Trap is so hot right now. Oh, wait, I spoiled it. It's Trap. I have so many viewers that can't read. That's why we put the arrows in the thumbnail so they know to click. And I completely spoiled it for the viewers that do read. I'm sorry. I do apologize for my breach of protocol here. I will try not to do it again. But we will see. I want to talk about Solar some more, though. Solar is just... This is one of those casts, but he's super fun guy. His English is probably better than mine. Okay, that's barely not true. But at events, he's one of the players... Like, you've seen a Home Story Cup. He essentially translates when he steps in to translate for some of the other players who aren't as confident. And just a lot of fun. How does that translate to his gameplay? I don't know. He streams sometimes, and he speaks English, so he'll respond to you probably much more and nicer than I will. But also, that wasn't supposed to be an insult about Solar being that other good Zerg. The thing is, Solar's in the top 5 Zergs in the world. It's just when you're crowded in with, like, Serral, Raynor, and Dark, there's not much room left. Like, you've got Rogue, you've got Solar, there's, well, Sue went to the military, unfortunately. The Korean military, like Beyond, hopefully comes back soon. DRG's looking hot, but, like, I think Solar is definitely, like, he's a solid 4th, or maybe 5th. Okay, he's a solid almost 3rd. He's definitely not top 3. That definitely goes to Serral, Raynor, and Dark. Probably not in that order right now, but, yeah, probably not in that order right now. You've seen Serral versus Dark, but he's right there. Now, Winter, can you talk about the game? Did you see that Adept kill a Zergling? Did I? I think I did. I'm not sure if I was on that screen. But we are on Submarine, the smallest map in the pool. And that Submarine is in that pool. That's how small it is. That means an Adept shade, it only takes like a shade and a half to get across the map. The Adept, the range of the shade is like 50% of the map. How does he see it? No, Solar is just not right where he needs to be on that Batman pillar. And now the Oracle has had quite a revelation. Winter, you should mention taking the 3rd before the natural and how that's kind of cool. I should mention how every probe is super annoying, and Protoss players make it their mission to annoy the shit out of Zerg so much that they just expand to their 3rd because they're never allowed to take their natural because Protoss are such dicks. I feel like I've covered that before. Oracle, Twilight, and Robo behind. Robo before the Twilight? Is this Adepts? Is he faking a 3rd? He has 2 gases. I don't think so. There's 2 Oracles for Trap. So, Trap is redefining PvT right now. I feel like the way he plays, like, he doesn't have a style. He's not like a parting or like a stats in that, like, it's either defensive or just, I will cut you, which is essentially parting in a nutshell. He does what a lot of other Protoss do, but better. He's looking so hot right now. Just so precise. And there you see, gets in, gets out, gets more kills. loses some HP on the Oracles, but has racked up 5 drone kills, and he hasn't lost a unit yet. So, if you go by just this tab, Trap is crushing it. But of course, that's usually how it starts in this matchup, as Zerg units just don't stand up. Or crawl, or slither. Oh, the Zerglings catch some Adepts, but the Oracles are already here. He only turns on one, not wasting the energy on the other. Because like your mom said, you can't just keep turning it off and on again. You'll run out of energy. You're gonna break it, okay? Stop turning the light on. We just got new bulbs. Oh, look at you, Winter. You had electricity as a child. Okay. It does cost 25 energy to activate an Oracle, let alone the about an energy it costs per second. So it's not just like a fun meme. It is true that if you activate both Oracles, you might find yourself without the opportunity. But Solar with the counterattack, nice warp in behind. I'm inclined to like call Trap a favorite here because he's just been looking so hot. So hot. What, Queens? Oh my god, it's the German taxi build. Oh, was ist das? Hello! Willkommen! Here come the Queens! They just speed across the map! Brenda! He just dropped the Queens. The creep is here. They got their express chauffeur service. There is a shield battery. Trap not quite prepared for this. He's got a lot of units to defend. Here come the Oracle. Shield battery overcharge was already used, correct? He doesn't have energy here. He could use it. He just used it now. Already lost. Well, he's got the Immortal juggling back. Great juggling out of Trap. The Immortal overcharge. Well, the battery overcharge. The Archon freaking the fuck out right now, but they're holding the line. The battery overcharge doing a great job. What, Brenda? What? Protoss. Too strong, and now they're off the creep! Oh no. Karen, what are you doing? He's got shield batteries! How are they so strong? And Solar is trying to break through, but Trap is holding super strong. He recalls the Archons to his third to defend against the Zerglings, looking for the flank. The War Prism, so important to stay alive throughout all this. The last Queen, targeted down. What a save on the Prism. Perfect. This all came together so quickly, but Trap handled it like a champion. And I say that not figuratively, but literally. What a defense. Solar came out swinging. He ferried the Queens across. He was looking to knock Trap out. But Trap holds on to his third. He had more probes the whole time. The Prism lives. And it wasn't like he took all that damage and panicked. He took that damage, but kept it alive, drawing fire from the other units. He lost only 1 Archon and 2 Oracles. Those are the non-gateway units. Well, Archons, you know what I mean. Oh my, wow. When I say he's so hot right now, did you see that? Jimmy, were you watching? What a defense. I can't stress how easy it is to crumble there. Like, if you actually play the game, and I know I'm talking to a minority right now, but you Protoss players out there managing multiple flavors of units, you got your Archons and Immortals, Sentries, Oracles, Warp Prism, Batteries, Sentries. Like, they all require their own special sauce when it comes to the micro. But Trap was able... Oh, well. Oh, here comes another tank. Brando, where did this army come from? We didn't kill anything last time. The Queens all die. The Prism stays alive. It's out of the vision blocker. Oh, he can't even hit it with it because he was right behind the bushes there, which means the ground units don't have vision, and the Overseer was too far away. Trap is playing so well. G Gemini's just enjoying himself right now. That prison, if he loses 2 Archons, this is still a dangerous attack. Trap has 67 probes. The army supply heavily in favor of Solar. It is Roach Ravager, though, with no upgrades, just the base units. Where's the taxi? I don't know why it's called the German taxi build, by the way. I don't know where that's from. I just have seen several players calling it the German taxi build, and I'm fully on board. It's better than Queen Drop, okay? It's from Lambo. It's Lambo's build. I don't even know if that's the build, but anytime queens are dropped right up in their grill, well, Trap with immaculate control, impeccable micro, just transcendent positioning, and inhuman reactions. Wow. Okay, it wasn't like the most ridiculous defense of all time, but it was close. That was a very dangerous army. Solar didn't take that much damage early, and he hit him. Okay, well, so that does not bode well for Solar. I don't blame him for trying that build on Submarine, but it's Lambo's build, and he's German. No. Lambos are I think Italian, or something fancy like that. The more you know. Okay, Solar, what do you got? That was kind of a throwaway, and it was well executed. I don't think Solar messed up. That wasn't like, Solar, what are you doing? No. This has been a trend in Trap series lately. His opponents are not playing bad. He's just playing too good. And I am one of... In fact, I kind of get a little concerned for myself, because I have a tendency to criticize players who have thousands more MMR than me. But, like, if they're playing bad, they're playing bad. Like, Beyond, make an armory. Come on. Like, just build the... You have the money. You're just actively not... I'm just saying. Cure. In general. Like... But, recently, I've been watching Trap, in general, and his opponent, they're not playing bad. They're playing great. He's just playing so much better. Is Trap the savior of Protoss? Like, stats for a while, Neeb. No one, unlike Serral, unlike Beyond in his heyday, and Maru, there has been no clear Captain Protoss. Stats is probably the closest we've gotten, but occasionally Zest puts on the captain's hat. Hearthstone always has the captain's hat for some reason. We're not sure how he got it, but he has it. But he's not the captain, but he has the hat. But Trap is really... And this is PvZ. So, hopefully, now that I've talked him up in Game 1, he doesn't disappoint me. Now, Trap, I'm all aboard. I want him to crush Solar and make him look pathetic while doing it. Sorry, Solar. I want to know, how do you play PvZ? He's already taught me how to play PvT, and it takes way too much micro, but I'll try. So, maybe we can get the same education here. Jimmy! We gotta do administrative stuff after! Come on. No, but it's just a probe. I know it's just a probe. Never trust a probe. Is this 50 Shades with Glaives? Which means... we have a perfect opportunity for... You know where this is going. You should know by now. And I know Zest has taken the captain's hat, but I wish he'd take that and so much more off. Because this is a zesty build. And always, like, I think Protoss have started to embrace... They've embraced the idea that they just have to play differently. Like, Terran, and to an extent Zerg, can kind of play the same build every game in a series. And a lot of Protoss have been like, well, we have to switch it up. Like, Protoss has to switch their builds. That's an innate disadvantage. But I think Protoss players have started to embrace that. And part of the reason why Zerg and Terran have, especially Terran, but also Zerg, have such a narrower set of openers is they don't have as much early game variety. Like, they don't have as many units that are going to be effective early. So Trap and Zest and Stats even really demonstrating how many options Protoss have and bringing a full deck into each series here instead of just having their one super good card. Well, here's the Trap card. The Resonating Glaives are complete. The Adepts are here. The Queens... Oh, no! Oh, we did not expect this! One Queen down. Some Roaches are out. Splitting off a few to go for the drones. Decent amount of units so far, but look at Solar's drone count. He's only got 36 and dropping. The Adepts are getting in. And the biggest part of this, so the Adepts won't win the game. All right, the Adepts are not going to win the game. It's not one of those. But the counter swing, the counter attack. Wow, really? Microing the 1-2 health Adept. Trap has not taken a third. I don't say that like, oh, big mistake. I say that, okay, he's going to consolidate on 2 bases, which means the Adepts have to do a little more. I don't feel like they've done enough here. And Solar already looking to counterattack, gonna find no third. This will be interesting to see where he goes from here. This Trap now moving out that he has units at home. This is usually the sticking point for a lot of players. Ah! Did he recall the Prism? What? He recalled the 4 Adepts. Okay, this is a little awkward. He did not recall the Prism. Well, the Adept's still doing some drone damage on the other side. Couple, I don't know if any probes died. No probes have died. It's just Trap has not been building any because he was focusing on building units to defend against both the counterattack and also do his attack. So we're in kind of an interesting spot. I'd say Solar handled this well. When it comes to Adepts, like, there's no handling it perfectly. I guess you could maybe wall off your natural and then just rally all your drones from your third, is what some players will attempt, but there's still a Prism. And the fact that Trap doesn't have a third done, like, it just now started, and Solar's back up to 56 drones. He bounces back out of it. The thing is, the reason Trap doesn't have a quick third is because he has a pretty thick ball of units here. That's a couple Immortals, a bunch of Glaved Adepts, Sentries building energy. The Zergling's looking for an opportunity. Yeah, no. I bet Solar's wondering exactly what's happening over here. Because it's not like this is a free base. The units are somewhere. He's just going to go for the pylon, make sure no warp-ins are happening. The recall should still be on cooldown. It is for almost a minute. But he's going to be left without all those Zerglings. The third base canceled. Trap, force fields. Slices up the army. Did he isolate enough? There's not that much damage outside of the Immortals. The Glaved Adept's not super great against Ravagers. He's going to need those Zerglings back home, even though the Adepts are involved. More Ravagers coming in. Drones are pulled. Never a great sign. Zerglings on the way back, though. Going to draw the fire of those Immortals. 15, 17, 18 drones down. Corrosive Vials raining. The Queens are trying to help, trying to get a target on that Prism, and Solar collapses on the army, and we're left with just 3 Immortals. An awkward number, because only 2 can fit in the Prism. He's going to stutter step his way back. He could potentially juggle them all the way back home, or just walk up to the high ground, because Immortals live up to their name here. Solar down to 38 drones again. So Trap, instead of trying to just sit back and take a third, put his investment into an attack, which is quite a role reversal here. Most of the time, what we see is the Adept Glaives, and then the Zerg attacks and the Protoss defense. After the Roaches build up to deal with the Adepts and all that. But here, Trap delayed his third and actually ended up getting it canceled in favor of building units. And it seems to have paid off thus far, but he's still, you know, a bit of a weird spot economically, despite killing all these drones. Oh my. 35 drones killed. Not Dark, I'm sorry, all Zergs look alike to me. Dark builds a lot of roaches too, okay? Yeah. It's like, all Zergs build roaches. Okay, Trap. The Warp Prism existing is important. Not necessarily doing damage, but the fact the Warp Prism is here. What? There's more Adepts. The amount of damage... Unfortunately, I think that was... The 2 Adepts in the natural just crossed the line. Being down under 40 drones right now, that's not enough. That's not enough drones. Trap has a 3rd. Solar does not have the economy to continue this. He has to do damage now. Ideally, before these shield betters are done, force fields, good. Oh my god! They zoned out just the Ravagers. Near perfect there. Shield batteries are done. Where's the overcharge? He pops it. Shield battery targeted. Hitting the other one with corrosive bile. A lot of Ravagers, but also a lot of Immortals. He didn't actually kill the shield battery right off the bat. It got a whole bunch of shields. Here comes Trap. Stunner stepping forward, and that's it. He knocks it out. He knocks him down, and he puts himself on match point. Trap with the counter aggression. He preempted the attack out of Solar. Like the usual counter attack on the 3rd. He's like, what if I just built units? Another game where it was a little dicier, I will say. It was a little dicier than the last game, but Trap kind of subverting the expectations of your average Zerg. And because Solar was like, okay, finally, the Adepts are dead. Finally. And at that point, you do have to decide, like, am I going to go for a counterattack, or am I just going to macro up and defend? And Solar decided to macro up and defend, but here's the thing. Trap wasn't taking a 3rd. He wasn't taking a 3rd. At least not committing heavily to it. He was building units. And then another attack comes in, and Solar's just not ready. Trap with another great game. Solar, here's the thing. I've never seen... The only way to stop the Adepts is usually before they start. Like, I've never seen someone not kill the Prism and not take damage from the Adepts, pretty much. Like, in one way or another, you take damage. Whether you lose a bunch of Zerglings, or drones, or even just units straight up. It's about what happens after. It's kind of a weird spot, because the Adepts are going to get in where they shouldn't be. This is a common problem in PvP, PvZ, and against Terran occasionally. Especially in the early game. Oh my god. Ugh, the worst. Trap handled it ridiculous. Here's one... It sounds... It's so obvious that it shouldn't even need to be said. Warp Prism. Keeping the Warp Prism alive and using it well. Everyone knows the Warp Prism is the most important unit in the army. Everyone. The Zergs, the Protoss, even you. In Twitch and YouTube and liking and subscribing. So that way you can comment and be like, I know the Warp Prism is the most important. And then you get a heart from me. Or because that's something I'm very diligent on. So make sure to do that. But even with that said, a lot of Protoss don't treat it with the respect it deserves. Like, you can have multiple Prisms, of course, but they're not cheap. Trap has been... When the Prism needs to be part of the army, when it needs to reinforce, it's there, in a safe spot. When it needs to potentially draw some fire or help with micro, it's there. When it needs to keep the army tied at home so that way you can get a 3rd base up, it's there. If you just lose that Prism right off the bat, well, one, the Adepts don't happen. If you lose the Prism later, there's a big counterattack of roaches right as you're trying to get your 3rd. It's just it's a linchpin. It's not quite as big a deal as, say, the Mothership Core back in the olden days. the Dark Ages. But it is kind of what your strategy revolves around when you make one that early. Stargate, and this probe dutifully watching. Obviously, Trap, haven't you seen the numbers? Don't you know you can go... He knows the numbers. At this level, pro players are actually managing their mining that closely. He has another base to mine from. Have we lost a unit? Nothing has died. What are 20... somebody canceled... I don't know, like a pylon? Oh yeah, Trap canceled a pylon, right? Wow. Excitement. It's gonna be a void ray. So, Stargate again, but this time... I mean, we're on Juggernaut at the long... I'm sorry, one sec. Long map! And that is usually, I'd imagine, this is Solar's pick, as the longer the map, the longer it takes for Zerg to get across. Wait, what? No. Let me put my thoughts together. All right, get them all together. Okay, there you go. Zerg production works differently than the other races. Larva works differently. The more waves of larva, the more larva you can use on drones before you need to make units, the more economy you have. The other races do not work like that, especially Terran, but also Protoss. You don't have to choose between, at least most of the time, you don't have to choose between probes and units. So the longer the map is, just the sheer amount of time before a Zerg needs to not make drones. And that's why the larger the map, usually the better it is for Zerg. Of course, you can get to a point where if the map is large enough in the later game, Zerg doesn't have as many options for mobility. What do I mean by that? Like I'm talking about like drops, liberators, warp prisms. Your army's out on the map, you can't come back as easily. So sometimes it can tilt the other direction, but generally, the longer the distance, the better for Zerg. And I think Trap is kind of playing into that right now a little bit. He's going for the double Stargate Legacy of the Voids build. Because he's going to build like a weird amount of Void Rays. What is this? What is happening? How did Adepts get here? How does this happen? How did Adepts get all the way across the map and kill 5 drones? I don't understand how this happens. I mean, the Void Rays killed some of the Overlords, but it feels like... Adepts are the worst. Like and subscribe if you agree. If we get 1 million likes on this video, I've got great sources, Blizzard will delete Adepts. All it takes is one backspace key. So, let's get there. We can do it. And then Protoss will never win anything ever again, the way it should be. Trap won that one tournament, breaking the streak of Protoss not winning. Let's keep it up. Here comes the Oracle again. Hydra's Queen's trying... Oh my god, the Oracle Micro is so slick. And if we get 3 million likes, I think we can delete Oracles as well. But that's a bit of a stretch goal. Check out my OnlyFans, and maybe we can delete Void Rays. His Oracle Micro is really good. All the Micro's really good. Trap's just really good. I think... I'm starting to become confident. And like I said, there's been no captain of ship Protoss. No decisive one. But Trap is kind of becoming the best Protoss in the world. Decisively. Like, but look, I'll watch him lose a Void Ray. I mean, Hydras are good. He doesn't have Hydra speed. He went for Hydra range first, Solar did. Brenda! Ooh. We are power walking now. What is that? What happened? Here come the Queens! Is there Storm? Storm's on the way, but that's a lot of Hydras. Storm and Void Rays. All the iconic things. But is it gonna be enough? Here come the queens. No taxis. We're walking, ladies. Oh, the storm hits some of the hydras. Not that many. The queens out in the front. You can use feedback on the queens, but the energy is needed for storm. Shield battery overcharge was already used. A storm, but the queen's starting to put things back together. The transfuses helping out. The Templar are kind of locked onto the left side. The Hydra's finding damage. Trap. How many units does he actually have? He's got 5 Void Rays, 5 Templar, an Archon, and a Dream right now. The storms are landing. The Hydra count is thinning out. Brenda and her knitting crew trying to keep things together. We got Hydra speed range done. So far, the upgrades, the probes are pulled. Probes not well known for their efficacy in battle. An Archon comes up. 19 probes go down, but the Queen's still intact. The struggle as Trap tries to pull it together. He's put some miraculous defenses before, but Solar brings the Queens across the old-fashioned way. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill both ways. That's bullshit, Karen. We used to fly. And also, it's the same speed uphill. I don't know what you're talking about. The Hydra count is still pretty high, but Storm finds an opportunity. Still some Hydras intact. They just have the basic upgrades. The Archon coming back together. There should be shield battery overcharge. This is quite a drawn-out attack. 26 probes went down. Solar only has 49 drones behind this. So if Trap manages to stabilize with this unit composition, he's in great shape. But stabilizing is the struggle. There's not enough energy. The natural goes down. The badly bruised Void Race down to 1. What will be its legacy? Shield battery overcharged. The Hydras are hitting the Void Ray. Oh, it goes down. The last Void. The Zerglings are body blocking in the Archon, grabbing it, and with that Archon, a victory. Solar gets one on the board. A well-executed attack, walking the knitting crew across with the Hydra timing. It's enough. And that is one of the most effective ways to take that out, of course. Before they can get enough anything to back up the Void Rays, you hit them. You hit them as hard as you can. And that's about as hard as he could. So what that also indicates is that Solar does not want to play that game out. So all that long map talk, well, he just walked Queens across the whole damn thing. So it's not that long. And also he was focusing on the creep spread early. Oh, a nicely executed attack. Trap getting a little gritty with the Void Rays. But I'm sorry, what was that? Okay, Jimmy says it's time for a quick advertisement before we get into his match point. What do you mean I missed it last time? Sorry, what, unskippable ads? Who came up with that idea? That's just bad, Mark. Anyways, I'll be right back. Quick, unskippable ad, or so they say. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and did you know if you like and subscribe, then Google will know you love me forever and I love you too. So if you're filled with love and excitement and everything you ever wanted in life, make sure to like and subscribe and watch every single video, or else. Thank you guys for sticking around. My match point, Solar versus Trap. We will see. Honestly, like Solar, well executed timing. But it was very close. It was a thin line. I think if a couple more storms land, if shield battery overcharge, so Trap used his shield battery overcharge at the natural, at the very start of the fight, which means he had another one later on, but a minute is a long time, right? It's 60 seconds. believe it or not. So, I don't even know if that's the actual cooldown. I think it's 60 seconds. I'm pretty sure. What is the cooldown? Shield, I don't... Something like that. It's pretty long. I think if he had held on to it a little longer until everything was engaged, because he didn't really have all the Void Rays in the fight at that point, maybe it looks a little different, but still. He was... At some point, there were like 3 or 4 Void Rays in deep red HP. So that means he was doing everything he could. Like Archons with no shields, but full HP. It's just Solar's timing hit too hard. Trap committed not a small amount to harassing Solar, killing his workers. And Solar decided, yeah, you might poke and pinch and prod and tickle me, if you would. And then Solar just kicked him in the stomach with a steel-toed boot that had a knife, like duct tape onto it. He duct taped, like it was, because that's kind of how queens do. Like it's not like it was built in, but I guess we have a knife, so I don't just duct tape it. It'll do. I don't think... I am almost certain that was Solar's map pick as well. So, really, I don't know how many players go into a series expecting or planning for a 3-0. And honestly, during the ESL Open Cups, which every Monday night, you can be a speed bump for these players who are way better than you and me. And you can sign up for your region as well. Or all the regions, like some of the pros do, if they want to get that extra cash. Over $1,000 every Monday, up for grabs. So, take your shot. What was I talking about, though? No. In the more high-profile series, a lot of players will plan out the games. I don't think most players go into a best-of-7 like, I have a plan for 4 games, and if I lose, well, then I'm going to proxy Rex. Because Maru planned to proxy Rex every game anyways. He just flips a coin before it, and if the coin lands on heads or tails, it's probably going to be a proxy Rex. If it lands directly in the center, maybe he'll go 3cc. Whereas if it's heads or tails, it'll be proxy Rex into 3cc, because that's how Maru do. Couple of deaths. First opportunity... Oh, a Zergling has died. It's Void Ray again. But after the Oracle used for that high ground vision on the more... He's checking all the pillars, all the Batman pillars here. The pervert pillars, depending on who you are and what you do. Oh, well, that is a stalker, I guess, so... Yikes. But being very diligent, now Solar has hidden an Overlord in the trees. What is this, Hawson? No, these are autumn colors. Meanwhile, Brandon, oh me! What a save! But it's not enough! What a waste of energy, Karen! What are you doing? I thought I could... Come on. There was no way that transfuse was going to save the day. Like, there's the small chance occasionally players will see a transfuse be like, oh, I guess I can't do this. Oh, the spore was hidden by the OV. I don't think that was intentional. You could tell Trap, I didn't see the OV. Trap didn't see the spore. I didn't see the spore. He took way more damage than he expected. He realized just barely in time what was happening. The cloak spore. Like, that has been a legitimate but niche strategy in SC2. I've seen it more in Brood War, where everything is like 3 pixels different than everything else, because that's all the pixels we afforded back in the day on our 12-inch CRT monitors. Well, since the human eye can only see 24 FPS, it's fine. But I remember in Wings of Liberty, at least, there were some cloaking your Spire with your Overlord builds. doesn't really fool people as much nowadays, but occasionally. I don't think that was an active choice out of Solar, but if it was, credit. I do love when casters... Oh! Come on! He transfuses a drone, and then he just loses one in the main, because, okay, well... It's one of those, like, oh, but he transfused a drone, though, but then he lost, like, 3 more drones to 1 adept, so I don't... Once again, a transfuse just using energy... Is it worth the 50 energy for a drone? I don't know, but he used it, so... It's one of those plays that almost certainly actually hurt, but the mental victory is important, all right? Morale is higher. It's important to keep your morale high. Hydra's den, infestation pit. Wait. Is that for microbial shroud? Is he gonna do a microbial shroud timing? Or is this, like, he's not making a lurker den. I don't know if he'd make a lurker den this early. He doesn't have the hive started yet. That's a lot of void rays here. Brenda, where's the queen? I'm sorry. I'm just doing some fan service, okay? I noticed, like, I uploaded 2 whole series that didn't have a single Zerg in them, and there were several, maybe even a dozen comments about how they missed Brenda. So, Brenda is here in Solar, giving us a premium display of the queens. No. I was hoping for maybe a microbial shrub, but I think he saw Templar, and also probably the plan was lurkers anyways. Well, there goes the Oracle. This game not as clean for Trap, but also Solar has been defending strongly. It's not a... Remember, last game was essentially the same opener. It's just Solar tried to kill him. This game, Solar has 87 drones. He's got a hive on the way. Lurker den is done. +1/+1. Here comes Trap with the most expensive army that also has the least supply he could possibly have. 2,150 gas in this army. Compared to 600 for Solar. It's Templar, Void Rays, and a few charge lots to cheer him on. Like... God, that army is so... And 3 charge lots going for drones. Solar can afford to lose a few. That's part of the reason you build so many. You're expecting... spoilage, if you would. I don't know what it's called. It's like when, I've watched Narcos, where they have, like, warehouses full of money, and, like, rats eat some of it. But the charge lots are the rats of StarCraft. They get in places they shouldn't be, and they're super annoying to get rid of, and they kill your drones. So, it doesn't completely hold up, but you get the idea. And that's why you build 90 drones, because you really want 80, but you build 90, so that way you usually have at least 80. Here comes some lurkers. The Void Ray's backing up. A transition has got... That's all I have to add here. Still it's such a small army. Not even a single Archon mixed in. Trap. Oh, here they come the rats. Oh, nope. There they go. Not dealing with the lurkers. The thing is, charge lots can just kind of charge past the lurkers. You need at least 3. So good choice by Solar. Oh, they're on the other side. The lurkers don't kill charge lots that quickly unless you have an overwhelming number. It's super annoying. But these ones will be shut down. Here comes the army. Where's the detection? There's an observer, but 5 lurkers with seismic spines, aka lurker range, which gives them... It outranges every Protoss ground unit, by the way. Not the spells. Not the spells. Oh, great feedbacks. Those Vipers, 0 out of 5 on Yelp. All right, I can't see anything, and I got a bunch of parasites. Meanwhile, the knitting crew is coming together. The late game queen push. Oh, what is this, the UK right now? These queens are getting involved at the 10-11 minute mark. We're maxed out. 3 carriers on the way. They're here for moral support and for murder. Storms dropping, but the lurkers. Even Colossus with extended thermal lance are outranged by these lurkers. Air units, of course, are a little different. Lurkers do not shoot up. There's no detection for that observer. If he got the observer, great feedbacks. He got 1 pull-up, 1 abduct. Meanwhile, charge lots, other side. Hydra's holding it down. Great defense thus far from Trap, but here comes the real meat of it. Just the queens in the front. The lurkers trying to burrow. Charges up the void rays, using them to target down the lurkers, but the queens are body blocking the lurkers, so they can't be targeted as easily. Trap finds the opportunity. The interceptors are gone. There's no more interceptors. The queen shot them out of the sky. They're out of energy, but they've been working real hard and they deserve a break. They won't get one. Here comes another couple carriers. The interceptors are continually building. The Archons are coming in. The rats from the side. Rats in a maze. The queens will not survive. The Hydra reinforcements are coming up. What a game. Probes are being transferred while all this is happening. He tried to move out, but the Hydra concave collapses in. The Immortals targeted. 1 down, 1 to go. Oh, gets it just in time. Shield battery out of energy. Is their battery overcharged? It's on cooldown. It was used. The interceptor count is at near 0. He's at 3, which is less than the number of carriers he has. But the Archons will hold the line. More lurkers on the way. He could desperately use detection. There are some Templar fighting with water. Why are there Hydras here? The world may never know. The struggle continues. More queens against Archons, doing their best. The Archon, have some mercy, murders a queen. The interceptors are down again. He has to retreat and rebuild the interceptors. And you can't chrono boost. You should be able to chrono boost a carrier. Shut up, Winter. Don't give him ideas. Oh, are those Templar in a prism? Wait, this isn't PvT. He uses the PvT strat. The Stormhammer drops. The interceptor count is getting high enough to deal with this. +2 attack is done. There's still a lot of economy, but Trap is pushing back. He has the critical mass. More queens being rallied across the map. Descendants upon descendants of Brenda and her knitting crew trying to keep it together, but the interceptors are starting to cut through all the Hydras. The queens are desperately trying to sew together a defense, but it looks like Trap has reached the critical mass, and Solar agrees. Trap holds once again. It was that close. Solar was right there. He was knocking on the... Let us in! But no. Trap slammed it shut just in time before the Hydras and the Queens, and that was most of it, were able to get in. Still though, another, like, I'm all aboard. I'm on the I'm on the ship captained by Trap. And I was trying to come up with a way to say, like, I ship Trap, I guess, because he's the captain. So all aboard, everyone. Protoss is back. Or something like that. I don't know. I really thought it'd be... I have nothing for Protoss. Because Protoss isn't supposed to be winning. Protoss is supposed to be losing, but still people complain about it. So I don't get it. Admiral Trap Bar. Oh, that's not even funny. Oh, wow. These are not landing. Unlike Trap's builds in this series. Thank you, ESL. Thank you guys for watching. Trap's build's way better than my jokes about them. I want to point out just one thing. Distract everyone. Trap wins the final match, winning the tournament at 13 minutes and 37 seconds into the game. And with that, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Is Trap the best Protoss in the world right now? Can we get 1 million likes to remove the depths? Let's find out. Thank you for watching. Good luck, and have fun.